Hi, my name is Val, and I survived a stroke.
My name is Bev, and I've been married to Val for 61 years. Val came downstairs after shaving, and he makes the bed and got ready for golfing, and he was over making his eggs, and all of a sudden there was this horrendous crash on the floor.
I reached up for a dish, and it fell on the floor because I could not control the dish. And she heard the thing break on the tile floor.
And I didn't even get upset or yell at him because we have so many dishes and we're so old, and I thought, what's another dish? But all of a sudden he started this, he couldn't speak. He was like yelling very loud, and he had a frown mark in his face, and he was very upset.
And I couldn't talk. And she come over there, wanted to know what was wrong. And she got out a piece of paper and a pencil.
And he just scribbled back and forth.
And I could not write.
And I got looking at him, and I said, hey, you're having a stroke, because his mouth was hanging down on one side. So I immediately went to the phone and called 911, and they got him and took him to St. Mary's Hospital here in Athens.
When I first had this stroke, man, I didn't know what was going on with me. My arms were kind of screwed up and I couldn't speak. And I remember them taking me into a CT scan right away. I believe it was a CT scan. And I couldn't talk. And Bev was there with me, so she answered all the questions.
When we got to the emergency room, a physician was very concerned about what time the stroke happened, because he said you have to be at the hospital or a hospital within 3 hours to get this medicine if he indeed qualifies. They ran tests on him, and this doctor said he qualifies, so they gave him this shot. I think it's called, the scientific name I can't remember, but we called it a clot buster.
And then I remember they gave me a shot, but this is all kind of hazy.
And all night I didn't sleep. I kept thinking, our lives are over. This is the worst event that's ever happened. I just had a terrible feeling. But it was the next morning, the day after the stroke, I went over to the hospital, and I heard him talking as I came down the hall. I'm sorry, I get emotional when I do this, but he was talking, and he just it was all back. He was fine.
And I was able to answer all these questions, and I was able to do the finger thing that they do. And so I guess I was kind of coming back the second day, which was, I was able to talk. And man, I was really happy with that.
About 10 days later, he was out golfing again. In fact, he was picking up a fellow, and they drove out to the golf course, and they golfed 18 holes. And I just could not believe it. It was just wonderful.
I mean, I'm living like I did before I had the stroke. I feel great now. I play golf 5 days a week if the weather is permitting. I trim shrubs. I build model airplanes. I do everything I did before the stroke.
I was so impressed that I wrote a letter to the CEO of St. Mary's Hospital, and I commented how wonderful everybody was and how great everything was.
The staff and the doctor and everybody at St. Mary's were terrific. The Dr. Morgan was tremendous. The nurses were great. I owe my life to St. Mary's and Bev.